That's all I could find.
So there's no criteria right now?
No, right now
Just
there's
the name
nothing.
of the
Just know that
criteria
there's
is-
going to be three licenses, three different tiers. And again, it's professional educator, senior professional educator, so it's going up in tiers. And then the high one will be the lead teacher.
That's over, they 3 to 5 years.
That's going to be a 5-year license.
5-year license.
And then finally, the last component is that promising practices and internships also have more and deeper partnerships and collaboration. And that's going to be actually 3 components in the partnership, 3 partners. And that will be the schools where the teachers are employed, the universities where they come from, so the universities stay involved, and teacher unions. See, if we don't have teacher union support and understanding, this isn't going to go anywhere. Because if we're talking about teachers being evaluated by teachers, if we talk about teachers being pulled out of the classroom for a year or 2, depending upon the union's presence and power in a district, this could significantly change that. So we're working with the unions as well. Questions or comments about that?
When you're talking about mentoring, you mentioned peer mentoring. Is
Yes.
that pretty much where you see the mentoring will be from teacher to teacher?
Yes. Yes. So now I'd like to go ahead and just go right into the Ohio teacher induction. And the first thing I want to do is you have right under your sheet, you see this handout 2-sided. So I'm speaking right in order of this. I'd like you to take a look at this side first. And this side first, you see first of all that look at how it's adapted from the Feynman-Nemser article. So ODE took this article very seriously. So you can see in the bottom, yeah, there you go, at the bottom of this side. There. I'm going to help the professor out.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so it's adapted from her work. Notice that the new teacher center, that's the NTC, that's the Santa Cruz place that I told you about at the bottom of the sheet. So those are 2 sources for much of this information. Notice that they are working on the partnership that goes from pre-service to induction to continuing professional development. So continuing professional development is going to be a key part of this. And over here on the vertical axis, they're talking about capacity building, formative assessment, and stakeholder engagement. I have no idea what the first and third one is. They like to use those words. I don't know. I do know, though, that I'm part of this one where I'm helping to design formative assessments. My key role, because I write quite a bit, is I'm writing scenarios based on each of the 7 standards and teaching standards, writing scenarios and questions that mentors could use with their entry-year teacher. Now, on the back of this, you see this historical context. And let me just go ahead and put this slide up here. Where we've been is telling us, first of all, that we started with the Praxis 3 and Entry Year program. That was implemented statewide in 2002. And then we adopted in 2006 the educator standards. And those I have in your packet as well. And that looks like it's the green sheet. So I copied for you the 7 teacher standards. All right, you might as well get to know these. Everything about induction, professional development. How many of you are familiar with that? I see some of you even have the book. How many of you are familiar with this book? Get familiar with it. Now this is where I really balked, because I thought, why, if we've got 4 domains and 16 criteria, or however many we had, why do we need this? I still can't answer that question. I never got it. And actually, the director of all this yelled at me in a meeting one time and told me to quit asking the question. And I said, well, answer it, and it'll be all right, but she wouldn't answer it. So guys, I don't know what the answer is, but I can't fault these. For somebody, I've been in education for 33 years. I like these standards. There's nothing wrong with them. So I copied 1 page on here to show you what the 7 standards are. On the back of it, it shows you how they're organized under 3 different categories. Focus of teaching and learning, the conditions for teaching and learning, and teaching as a profession. I also scrounged around and found for you this sheet. You see this 2-column sheet, and this is a way I would really suggest, if you're going to go back to your district and ever talk to administrators, this shows you how the 7 standards are aligned with the domains and criteria. All right, so if you know, remember domain B was on management, you could see B1 matches up with standard 5 and so on. So it's all on here. This is a pretty important piece of paper, so you can see how they go together. Got that? Now, back to our timeline here. Starting in 2007 and 2008, this is when the Entry Year Teacher Program Review Committee convened. That was before I came on board. I came on board here. This was my role. I was on this committee. But for 1 year prior to it, the ODE worked and studied and took a look at what is going on currently in Ohio. And then they started coming up with some induction program standards. There were some House bills that didn't come out of committee. But after we met and worked last year, House Bill, where's the number? I don't even see where the number is, did just pass this spring. And because that House bill passed, we now are moving ahead with all of this. So we have a pilot recommended starting this year, 2009-2010. What's going to continue this year, though, is they're going to start selecting components of mentor training, beginning teacher curriculum, formative assessments. So right now, this is what's going on. All of those different components are being set up. Now the last thing that you have there in your hands is I decided to copy more of this one just because this is the nature of this class. This packet comes from this book, and these are the professional development standards for the state of Ohio. The reason I copied that for you is because over the next year you're going to see a lot of RFPs, requests for proposals, coming out of the Ohio Department of Education. Based on, they're going to offer, right now, they're offering money for districts to set up centers for practice. It would be a good idea for you, if you are ever going to write one of these proposals for the state of Ohio, to incorporate the language from the standards for professional development and see how they mesh with these standards, and then eventually the induction standards. And I'm telling you, you might be able to get some money and start a program at your school. Okay? So that's why I gave that to you. I have found that these are almost magic right now. If you could copy some of these words, embed them in your proposal, it will help you a great deal to get started. Because the state of Ohio does not want to have any kind of professional development going on with teachers that doesn't find itself based on this. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at, I want to talk about the new licensure system. I think you have one more thing there that's a little stapled packet, am I right? It has information sheet on it. Do you guys have that? No?
No, I can't find it.
Okay. I'll find it. I know what it looks like.
Does anybody see it?
Oh, I copied it for you. Let's take a look at what is this new model looking like for the state. These are the actual slides that representatives from ODE are sharing as they travel around the state. First of all, it was Ohio House Bill 1 that said that first of all, we'll have the transition resident educator program, and then by next year we'll have the actual resident educator program. In July of